International monitors and leaders agree the ceasefire in eastern Ukraine is largely being observed, but sporadic fighting continues in a few disputed areas. Plus, officials from Athens and the EU hold crucial debt talks as Greece's economic struggle unites thousands in solidarity across Europe. A massive cyber attack hits over 100 banks with up to $1 billion stolen across the globe. RT obtains exclusive access to the report from the cybersecurity firm that discovered the crime. And Cairo launches airstrikes on Islamic State positions in Libya after militants release a video showing 21 Egyptian Christians being beheaded because of their religious beliefs. Welcome to RT International Live from Moscow with me, Marina Jashi. International observers and leaders say the truce in eastern Ukraine is largely holding, apart from a few hot spots where sporadic fighting continues. RT's Murad Gazdiyev tried to reach one of the areas still seeing conflict.
We're on our way to Uglegorsk, one of the areas exempt from the general ceasefire. Apparently there are Ukrainian snipers just on the top of that hill. There's an operation underway to clear them out, but it just goes to show you that in this region of eastern Ukraine, the fighting is continuing.
Снайпер. Внимание, снайпер!
Lower, lower, lower. Get down, get down, get down. Go, 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 go.
Our crew is now safely back in Donetsk, and Murad Gazdiyev can join us now to tell us the very latest. Hello there, Murad. Good to see you. Now, has the truce brought much optimism to Donetsk? What more can you tell us?
Well, for now, it appears to be holding, fortunately. OSCE monitors here, I've spoken to them, they're out and about, watching, monitoring the situation. They say the front has largely fallen quiet. The fighting has stopped largely, with the exception of a few areas, including and especially the Debaltseve pocket, where thousands of Ukrainian troops are said to have been surrounded by anti-government forces. They're isolated. They're apparently attempting to break out. It's worth mentioning here that anti-government forces say that they will let those Ukrainian troops out peacefully, without any fire, if they lay down their weapons. Kiev, though, doesn't appear to be willing to go along with that. OSCE monitors, by the way, were blocked from going to Debaltseve, as the anti-government forces said that it was just simply too dangerous. Of course, both sides are blaming each other for the violence, saying that they're causing provocations, and anti-government forces here in eastern Donetsk say that they won't fire back at provocations, at Ukrainian military provocations, unless those threaten the lives of people here in eastern Ukraine. Though, again, the front has largely fallen silent. The ceasefire does appear to be holding, and it has brought huge relief here to Donetsk, for example. I've spoken to shopkeepers, to taxi drivers, to locals. They all express relief, but with that relief, there's a tinge, I must say, of pessimism. People don't believe, or they're reluctant to believe, that it could have all just stopped just like that. They remember the last ceasefire, which broke down, and hundreds, reportedly, civilians, hundreds of civilians died after those talks broke down. So they are happy, but, you know, expectations are tempered. At the same time, the Normandy Four, Russia, France, Germany, Ukraine, their leaders are keeping in close touch, monitoring, coordinating efforts with the ceasefire. So a lot of expectation, and hopefully it'll hold.
Certainly, Murad, as we can see, the situation is quite fragile, but as you said, there's a lot of hope and expectations there. Thanks for bringing us up to date on this one. Murad Gazdiyev reporting from Donetsk for us. Now, the EU has enforced more sanctions on 19 individuals and 9 companies over the Ukrainian crisis. Among them, 5 Russian officials. Moscow said the move contradicts common sense, especially when a peace process is progressing. The blacklist was agreed upon last week, but was put aside so as not to undermine talks in Minsk. And the first measures were implemented last year, and Russia responded with an import ban on European goods, hitting some EU countries in the pocket. The Russian market is the second most important export destination for EU agricultural goods after the U.S. And in 2013, 10% of EU products went to Russia. That's 12 billion euros in total. Countries like Lithuania, Poland, and Germany had the most trade with Russia, earning hundreds of millions. When Russia imposed a food embargo, it hit the dairy, meat, and the fruit and vegetable sectors. Richard Sakwa is a professor of European politics at the University of Kent, and he believes sanctions are a useless gesture that only bolster politicians and punish the people.
Sanctions are a form of warfare, and I think we should accept that. So if there are more sanctions and if there are these endless accusations, then I don't think we're getting anywhere. Obviously, it does not help the establishment of trust, and it doesn't help the establishment of what I argue is a peace process. It's not a peace which can be signed on a piece of paper and then immediately implemented. It'll take a lot of hard work, a lot of commitment by all sides, and sanctions are totally destructive of that process.
Now, there are 151 Russians and Ukrainians on the EU blacklist, including 2 Russian deputy defense ministers. For the full list, you can go to our website, rt.com. Now, Norway again faces top-level criticism over its foster care system. And coming up, the Czech president compares Oslo's child welfare system to a Nazi breeding program. We explain why.